The only other thing I would say is I keep walking around in different places and just observing. I'm living in the future. I live in a world where there's so many cannabis dispensaries in California, for example, that they're full of a list in a magazine that's printed here. And I live in a world where you can drive through and get biodiesel and hemp products and organic and vegan ice cream at the fuels place. You know, there's sequential biofuels all up and down Oregon. I'm living in the future. We are in the future. We just have to remember that and keep acting like we're already there, because we are, and remember that the old ways are obsolete, and the faster that by our actions we show that, the faster they fade away.
All right, so the future began 1 minute ago, and you better get caught up with it all. And now, George, you're a rancher. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to put on my former state senator hat and talk about political change. I was talking about changing the marijuana laws with a friend of mine in Nebraska, and he was going, "Oh, this is never going to change," and blah blah blah, and it just made me very depressed. And I was, when I was brushing my teeth that night, I was thinking about responding to Gary. You know, "You're full of shit, Gary, for X, Y, and Z reasons." And I started thinking about, for example, in our lifetimes, one of the greatest changes on planet Earth was the Berlin Wall coming down. I heard someone talking about that today. Yeah, and it's one of those things that the Soviet Union looked so unbelievably undefeatable, immovable, but it was rotting from the inside. There is no institution in the Western world that is rotting from the inside more significantly than the DEA and everything hanging with it. And this spring, we had a remarkable thing happen in America. It happened in Dallas County, Alabama. I don't know how many of you remember a public official named Sheriff Bull Connors. He was the guy that used the fire hoses and the tack dogs on the civil rights marchers in Selma. Well, Dallas County, Alabama, in the primary election this year, voted 73% to send a black man to the top of the Democratic ticket. 73% in the same county that hired a racist son of a bitch like Bull Connors. That has changed. That's compared to that mess, pot prohibition is a small problem. If we can help address that big problem, we can help address this cannabis prohibition problem.
All right, thanks, George. You can take that one to the bank. I would like to thank my panelists here, Jack Hare, who's left already, Adam Eidinger, Steve Levine, David Frankel, George Rohrbacher, and I guess I should thank myself while I'm at it, for keeping on point and on time, and we appreciate all your presence here. Now, we've had a lot of talk about hemp. You guys can go ahead because they need to clear the table now.